In this video, we're going to have a look at this H&E stained tissue section. I'm going to put it on the microscope, and then we're going to proceed to image it using Micro-Manager and the Micro-Magellan plugin. So what you'll see is me starting up Micro-Manager on the computer after locating the sample somewhere close to the objective. And we're going to use a configuration that I prepared earlier that allows for the use of a color camera and a mono camera, as well as control of the stage and the Z position. So once Micro-Manager has started, what we'll do is turn the camera on and have a look for the sample. It should be in the field of view. It's quite large. So I'll set the color camera running. And what we can see here is that the camera is saturated. So I'll turn down the exposure time. You can see from the histogram on the left-hand side, just above the video image, that the intensity is now a bit more reasonable. I'm going to put it on a logarithmic scale, and you can see there's still some saturation at the end of the histogram. So I'm just going to reduce the integration time further until the entire histogram is visible. There we go, no saturated pixels. What we need to do now is white balance the color camera. We should do this every time we start using it for the day, or every time we restart Micro-Manager for the acquisition session. So I'm moving to an area that is off the sample. You can see we no longer see the slide, and then going to the device property browser and running the auto white balance. The camera we're using is the CellCam color. You should see now it will adjust. So when I start running it live again, the image looks white. And when I go back to the sample, it looks like the color staining of an H&E sample. I'll zoom in a little, and then I'll just use the Z drive to focus. You can see my hand there on the Z control wheel. And now what we're going to do is switch in the device property browser to single color operation on the color camera. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because Micro-Magellan expects a monochrome camera, and this camera can output various types of images, including color images, images where all three color channels are appended, or single color images. So we're just picking a single color image. I'm opening Micro-Magellan, pressing Explore, then clicking on the left-hand side of that screen, and clicking again when it turns purple to confirm I want to acquire that, as I'm doing here again. And I'm just selecting by clicking and dragging regions, and then acquiring by clicking on that again. And what I'm doing is trying to work out where the sample is. And yeah, let's just build a big map of this area. And you can see that the microscope will just snake around, finding the positions that I've requested it. And okay, it looks like the sample extends beneath here, so we'll just image this area, and probably a bit to the right as well. So we'll image there. I can use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out. And we'll just have a little look beneath, and that's probably everything just from looking at the sample that we're going to need. Yeah, okay. So now that I'm happy that we've got the entire sample in, I'll go to the Grids tab, and I'll add a new grid, increase the size of the grid so it matches the sample, roughly, and then just drag it into place above. It needs to be a bit bigger vertically, so I'll add another row. Okay, so now that's covered by a grid, I'll go to the other Micro-Magellan window, and then click on that grid and export it to Micro-Manager. Once we've got that grid exported to Micro-Manager, it shows up in the stage position list. Okay, so we've got those list of stage positions. I'll now open the multi-dimensional acquisition tab, make sure that multiple stage positions is ticked, so that's XY positions, and now I'm just going to add a location for the file and acquire. And you can see here, it's just going to go through acquiring this image or set of images to tile over the area that we're interested in. Of course, because I haven't changed the camera back to color, it's doing this in a monochrome manner. And now it's finished. What I'm going to do is go to the device property browser and then set the color to camera to color rather. And once it's in color mode, I can just check that it is operating in color mode by pressing the live button, or just acquiring. In some cases, when running a multi-dimensional acquisition, if you've got large images like we have here, you may not necessarily be able to see them as it acquires updating, but you can see the histogram on the left is showing that we are not saturating as we acquire each image. Okay, I'm now going to go to Fiji now that the acquisition is finished, and I'm going to open up the dataset that we just recorded. Okay, so we're just going to locate the file that we're interested in, and now we're going to open it up as an image sequence. So I'm just going to find the actual file we just recorded. That's it. And then we import the images. I'm just going to zoom out a little to make it easier to see. And we're going to apply a couple of transforms, so rotate the image to the left and then flip it in the vertical axis. That's just because of the way the camera is oriented. And I'm now just going to make a montage of the image at full size, and you can see here we've retrieved an image of the object which is stitched. You can see I can zoom in and see as much detail as we'd have seen in any of the individual images earlier at any part of the sample. There are more sophisticated tiling algorithms available. You can also apply flat field correction, but this is just a quick demonstration. And that's it.